I don't know if you saw it. We processed $23 million of Solana-based payments into the World Series this year.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
It was like 6% of the total buy-ins.
It's the PokerNews Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 999 of the PokerNews Podcast. I'm Chad Holloway, back at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas with Mike Holtz, Ben Ludlow, and a very special guest, Solana Chief Product Officer, Vibhu Norby. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
It's really good to be here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this partnership, this collaboration you have with the World Series of Poker, which is big. It's been big all summer long. And the timing is great because the WSOP Main Event Final Table is coming up this week. We're all going to be there, checking it out, rooting on people. Before that, we have episode 1000 that's going to be coming out tomorrow. If you're watching this on Sunday, assuming we're going to be at PokerGo Studio. We've got some of the finalists invited. We got Greg Mueller, Lucas Jumelon, Jamie Shavel, Gags is going to be there.
Yep.
Mike, Ben, you excited for episode 1000?
Heck yeah. We got Jeremy Osmus too.
That's
to
right.
get his takes on the, making the main event final table and just being an all-around boss. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's so funny. I've been telling friends like, wait, episode 1000? You've been on this podcast for 1000 episodes? I'm like, no. I've been on it for about 80. Mike's been on for about 250 and Chad's been on for 1000. But
I've been on for 250?
Nah, Mike's been about 200, and I've probably been a little more than half.
A little more than half.
Because it goes back to 2010, November 9, 2010, WSOP at the Rio. That was the start of this show. So very excited to have you here for episode 999.
Very special.
Yeah.
The last triple digit.
Pretty
before we
sick.
hit 4
The
digits.
last non-arbitrary number.
yeah, exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about this collaboration between Solana and WSOP. Obviously people who are watching, listening know a lot about the WSOP. It's what we've been doing all summer long. They might not be familiar with Solana aside from seeing the logo on the WSOP set and around the horseshoe and stuff. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what Solana is all about.
Okay, sure. I'm the Chief Product Officer of the Solana Foundation. We're we call ourselves like the ecosystem stewards of the Solana network. Solana network is a layer 1 blockchain. It's the most used kind of crypto network in the world. It's the home of a lot of things that are happening in digital finance today with assets, equities, payments, stable coins, and all that kind of stuff. And we've been around for 6 years. First, probably I think Solana was probably the fastest growing entity in history from like a valuation and kind of network like business standpoint. We've been fans of poker. A lot of people around the foundation are fans of poker, and it was kind of exciting to have this opportunity.
I mean, we always talk about crypto in the poker space. I'm not a crypto guy. I'm going to be learning a lot here today, which I'm excited about. Mike, I'm sure you as an online poker player in that kind of crossover may know a little bit more about crypto than I do.
A tad bit more. I've popped in and out of the crypto space here and there back in 2021 through 2023, but I haven't really had much money in crypto in the last couple of years.
Well, we always talk about, though, the state of poker can be dependent upon crypto, right, Ben?
Oh, yeah. I mean, leading up to the World Series, it's like, is the price of Bitcoin or Solana or Ethereum doing well? All right, we're going to see a big bump in the high rollers. Yeah. If not, well, they'll still find a way. But yeah, when I talk about poker with people and I talk about crypto, I always say that, well, as cryptocurrencies find more like real world functionality and sort of ways to be, practical applications. Well, we've always had a use for crypto, moving money, whether it's from the US abroad for tournaments, whether it's, easily putting money in and out of online poker sites. So that's why so many people in poker made a lot of money on crypto or sort of have been early adopters. And it's just a partnership that makes a ton of sense because we're one of those use cases here in poker that is just like so obvious and makes a ton of sense. So
yeah. Before we jump into the specifics, the collaboration and what happened this summer and what will happen at WSOP Paradise, tell me a little bit about yourself. You said, you and others around Solana are poker people. How did you learn poker or discover poker? What's your poker story?
Probably like a lot of kids that grew up in the 90s and aughts. Started watching poker when I was like 13 or 14. It was on TV, late night. They had remember the Heads Up Championship and obviously WSOP and stuff. And then I started playing online in college. Me and a couple friends were like making decent money, 8 tabling, sit and goes and stuff.
Hell yeah.
On Poker Stars,
Sit and go guys, that's close to heart. If you were like, I'm a cash game guy, we would still love you, but not as much. But yeah.
And then the industry went dark, and what do you guys call it? Black
Friday.
Black Friday, yeah. So it kind of only played live from that point on. And but yeah, like it was showing Greg and Ty, the CEO and CEO of World Series Poker. Like I have pictures on my iPhone. Came as like a fan to watch the WSOP in 2011.
Oh, nice.
In Vegas, and I went around like taking pictures of all my favorite players, and then to have the opportunity to come back and like work with the WSOP is like pretty awesome.
Yeah, who were some of the favorite players back then?
Back then, I mean, everyone loved Ivey. But I think we were really obsessed with Tom Dwan. And then the rise of Isildur won.
Yeah. Okay, so you know ball.
Yeah, they're like back then, I don't know how we used to watch that stuff, but there'd be like, an hour-long stream session of Isildur 1, like being degen out of his mind.
Yeah, I miss those days where you would be able to see how many spectators there were on like a full tilt table, and it would be like Railbird Heaven. It was Tom Dwan playing 500 1,000. There'd be like 6,000 people just watching the table, not even on a stream or anything. It's just pure watching. Yeah, those were the days.
And then these days I'm like mostly enjoy tournaments more than the cash stuff, but
smart man.
Yeah, I mean we love the Foxens, obviously. I have a soft spot for Deeb because I appreciate the mission. Like, I know that there's like a lot of controversy about his
Sean
P&L.
Deeb controversy. What?
But I don't know. I like people that like just they have a single goal, and and they kind of dedicate their life to that, and that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about how Solana got hooked up with WSOP, or like who approached who. What's the genesis of this, and how far back might it go?
Believe it or not, we sought them out. So. Last year, we were thinking about how we can demonstrate the value prop of digital money, digital cash, which is what's happening on Solana. And I don't know, poker came to the top of my mind. Actually, we were literally playing a poker game, like a private game, me and a few people from Solana, and we're like, yeah, pretty cool, like do some stuff with poker.
Yeah.
And through a friend named Sean, who's a founder in the Solana ecosystem, his girlfriend works for the World Series. He introduced me last year, and it was very fortuitous timing because I think the WSOP had gone through the acquisition, and they're like restarting the conversation around ESPN, and they're looking for help to get that done. And so it took like, I think I first met them in October last year, and then we probably finalized the deal like a week after the World Series started, which is why we didn't have the set done.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So it was like, it took some time. I think we like made a decision earlier, but like, these are like complicated contracts and all that kind of stuff. And so like literally like 3 days after we signed was when they switched the set. So it was like really that tight,
Yeah, it's what people might not know is how big of a deal it was for this to come through. It's the first time in 15 years the WSOP broadcast has had a headline sponsor.
Yes.
And only the third time in its history, which is 59 years long, that's had a headline sponsor. So like, this is a big deal.
The last one was, I think, was it Jack Link's Beef Jerky?
We don't mention them on this, but no. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
My bad.
Jack Link's is fine. I just
it's just quite it's a quite funny like jump like from
it's
Beef
Milwaukee's
Jerky to
best.
crypto.
Jack Link Solana.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's best was the first one.
I don't know if it was.
That was definitely a sponsor. I don't know if it was the headline sponsor. I'd have to go back. Maybe ask Jeff Platt this, but
I think it was
Jack Link's was
MD4040.
definitely one of them.
But this is the first time we've ever done this, but we've never sponsored anything. Like we actually don't even believe in it. And the only reason we did this is that we felt like there was actually product and like things that we could do with the industry to make it better. That was it felt like more than just like slapping our logo on something. I mean, obviously it's there, but there's utility there. Like people, I don't know if you saw it, we processed $23 million of Solana-based payments into the World Series this year.
Oh wow, nice.
Wow.
It was like 6% of the total buy-ins.
That's awesome.
Oh wow, that's pretty sick. I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah, especially for kind of starting a week late, if you will, in terms of the visibility of it.
Exactly.
It can only get bigger and better, especially because you're going to continue. WSOP Main Event Final Table obviously is happening. I'm sure it's going to be cool for you and your company to have that logo and everything continue through the finale. But then it doesn't end there because you guys are through the end of the year at the WSOP Paradise.
Yes. We'll be doing more at Paradise. So actually a lot of the vision we have for WSOP, we can't bring to life in Vegas because Vegas has very draconian laws around crypto. Even like being able to buy in was kind of like I don't know if the regulators watch this podcast, but it's a bit of like a hack.
If they do, they have our faces on dartboards at their homes. Like, these motherfuckers.
So yeah, it was like a bit of a hack to even get the buy-ins enabled. Our real vision is for the entire poker economy to run on digital money. And in Bahamas, you'll be able to see like what that actually looks like. Like you should not only be able to buy in, but you should also be able to get paid out.
Yeah.
And you should be able to do staking and have auto payouts for your tournament winnings to your backers. These are all things that are
It's
coming.
pretty sick.
Yeah, and I think these are all things that like we've all wanted in some way, shape, or form. So, you know, if you could see like half the final table on the Bahamas getting paid out directly in Solana or something, or even a few of them, it's like
it's
huge.
I think I personally, maybe because I've been working in crypto for a long time, but it's insane to me, the cashier cage situation. I saw people literally showing up with cash and then walking home with cash. And what happens? People get robbed.
Yep.
Like it's slow. Like, you know, the tax stuff is difficult. Like, I don't know. It just makes sense to like send money, you know, digitally. That's what we do with the rest of our lives. So.
It's one of the biggest complaints at WSOP is the slowness of cashing out at the end of the series, especially with the Europeans and tax laws and everything. I mean, it'll take an hour for sometimes for one person to get done. So like,
well, and you mentioned like the amounts of money. We talked about it on an episode not long ago. Jared Grenier cashes out the WSOP for $45K and gets robbed, right? Because he gets followed home. And so there's a safety aspect to it. I remember once at the WSOP, I'll never forget it. It was with Jason Kuhn. I was meeting him for an interview near the payouts and stuff. And he's running a little late. He comes in. He's like, "Here, can you hold this box for me?" And it was just like this nice white box. And I hold it, and he does his stuff. And he's like, "Look in it once." And I open it up, and it was like $100K of just cash because he was there to buy in for a super high roller.
I mean, we're one of the most. This is the most cash intensive business that exists, maybe, or whatever game that exists. So find a way to make that less of a thing. You know, physical cash is cool and looks cool in the movies, but makes no sense now that anyone should be carrying any amount of, a lot of cash in and out of anywhere. So
yeah, logistically, there's so many reasons why you really don't like to walk. You don't want to walk through anywhere with like 10K or like 100K.
Well, especially like even walking through, and this is like Bahamas. This is why it's perfect. I've been to the Bahamas for PCA and WSOP and all kinds of stuff. I know you guys have been too. Like carrying large amounts of money, $10,000 or more overseas across borders can trigger a lot of issues.
Oh, for sure.
And especially in the Bahamas. Like
of
people
course,
have been
you tell
detained.
the truth, right? When you're coming back in customs, you always tell the truth about it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If anyone's listening, I've never lied.
Not only that, but like there are horror stories of people coming back from the Bahamas with cash from PCA and all those tournaments where they're literally like, they end up in like camps for like months and their money gets stolen. Like I try, if I go to the Bahamas, I haven't gone for WSOP, but I've gone normally, I carry like no cash on me there.
Yeah.
So I could see how Solana would be awesome for that.
Perfect for that.
Let me ask this because, we'll keep it in the Bahamas because they just announced, we'll talk about this here in a little bit, about WSOP circuit winners winning a 5K package. We'll talk about that here, like I said, in a little bit. But there are going to be a lot of players from the circuit who won a ring who aren't familiar with crypto, probably aren't so familiar with Solana, are going to be wondering about money back and forth to Bahamas, etc. So take somebody like me. Like I'm not that familiar. Let's say I'm going to the Bahamas, I want to play and I want to learn more about Solana. How does this all work? Like how easy is it for somebody? How do they go about it? Is it in the WSOP Plus app, etc., etc.? WSOP Live.
Yeah, it's still not easy enough because you typically, if you don't already have crypto, you need to set up an exchange account. If you're in the States here, that'd be something like Coinbase, which you've heard of, or Kraken. If you're international, it might be Binance is the biggest exchange in the world. And on that exchange, basically what they do is you take your dollars in your bank account and you convert them into digital dollars. And you do that on the Solana network. But then once you've done that first step, it's super easy. In this summer in the WSOP Live app, you go to register. You have your payment options, wire, cash, etc. One of them is Solana, and you click it, and it gives you an address, and you just copy paste that address into your exchange, and then it instantly settles, and it shows you your receipt. It literally took me like 2 minutes to buy into the 10K,
Nice.
And honestly, probably could have been shorter. And it's free. There's no transaction fees, basically.
That's huge. Yeah. I know Solana's
So-
always been low transaction fees to begin with. But
Yes, it is. There is a transaction fee, but it's
Of
like
course,
one,
yeah.
Hundredth of a penny.
Exactly.
So
Fractions of a cent, we're going to round off.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Office Space, and we can round off all those hundredths of a cent to a bank account.
Little Superman 2.
Or Superman. That's right. Yeah. I forgot they stole it from Superman.
Did you mention the 10K, the main event? played?
No, I did the 6 max. I didn't
six
make
max.
the main events.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. That's
Yeah, I didn't last very long. Yeah.
That's fine.
They came,
We've all been
Neither
there.
did Neymar.
Yeah.
I think he lasted the shortest in the 10K 6 max.
They ruined my table image. Jeff Platt came over with the ESPN cameras and pulls me off the table. And I'm like, he's like, oh, you're the chief product officer of Solana Foundation. And I'm like, looking around my table, they're all looking at me like, okay, this guy, he's the businessman. Like, he's not a pro. So
Leave it to Jeff Platt to blow up your spot.
didn't last long after that. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
One fun thing you guys are doing coming up in just a couple of days, right before the WSOP Main Event final table kicks off, is a little invitational.
Yes.
That's going to be taking place. Tell me a little bit more about there. I know Poker News is going to be there. I'm going to be there doing some
Sweet.
interviews. We're going to do some live updates from this invitational. I think it's just one table, 9 players. What's it all about?
Yeah, so we're calling it the WSOP Solana, WSOPS. This one's a free roll, but we do want to have actually one of our plans is to host like crypto only tournaments around the world that you buy in with Sol or USDC and then you get paid out. But this one is for fun. We invited 9 of the biggest influencers in crypto. Some of these guys, collectively they have like massive reach, like much bigger than like probably any poker player, to be honest. And some of them are new to the game. Some of them have played before. So they're getting coaching, I think tomorrow from Jamie Gold.
Who we've had in the studio this summer.
Yeah.
Good friend of the podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
He's very enthusithing about Solana. And
Yes, he is. Yeah,
yes.
I feel like he talked when we had him on. He mentioned Solana a lot, actually. Yeah.
And then they'll have an opportunity. They'll be streamed and like recorded, just like the typical from the same team that does the World Series.
At Omaha Productions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I think a winner will take, I don't know,
50,000. Yeah, 50,000 for first,
50K for
25K,
first.
10K for third, and then $2,500 consolation prize.
You know,
for the rest of
Mike's one of the biggest influencers in crypto. I think he needs a seat at the table.
Yeah.
we intentionally, we had a lot of people that were like kind of semi-pros to do
Yeah,
crypto
yeah.
stuff, and we said no because it's not fun to have
course.
like one really good player and
Yeah,
everyone else
That
is
would
bad.
be
Like,
Mike at the table with a bunch of influencers.
Yeah,
No,
that's also why I didn't play.
Everything's good.
Everything's
I
good.
call.
But I feel like that the thing we talked about that I think a lot of people hopefully who are listening or like we talked about ring winners who don't know much about it, it's that first step of just being able to buy Solana or like knowing how to do it that I think a lot of people have trouble with. So I think once they see how easy it is and kind of how it's how straightforward it is, then once you're in it, it's sort of very easy to go in and out, whatever. But
and one important note is that unlike 10 years ago, when you think of crypto, you usually think of like Bitcoin. So you say, well, I don't want my cash to be like volatile, right?
sure.
When you're using exchange, you can literally have digital dollars, which are always one-to-one.
Stable coins, right?
Yeah, like exchangeable. So it's not, there's no risk in this. Like it's the same thing as cash, except it's on your phone instead of under your mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting partnership, collaboration, if you will, for the remainder of this WSOP, which I want to talk about real quick because I asked this about Scott Blumstein, who was on our I think last episode, his winner pick for the WSOP main event.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you've got your finger on the pulse. Is there a player at this final table that you think is going to take it down? I can pull it up here if you want to see it.
I mean, Lucas has like the
Yeah.
highest expected value,
Yeah.
right, by far.
Who is hopefully coming to episode 1,000, right? Like,
He's
are you
coming.
confident?
He's there.
What,
All
you
right.
like, can't
Chad
wait.
doesn't,
I don't know.
Chad doesn't
Like,
trust us.
I mean, I know
I
poker
ordered the
players
pizza
can
for
be.
tomorrow. Chad's still a little uneasy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rooting for Han because
Yeah.
Han Feng because he's going to wear a Solana patch. So
Hell yeah.
Oh, that
that's-
makes
that's-
sense.
Nice.
Han Feng's
our
great.
pick.
He's a consummate pro. He's one of the probably biggest live grinders that we've got right now in terms of, kind of the mid stakes. So yeah, that'd be
I
be a
seen
great
it in
win.
his interview with Poker News after he made the final table. He said like he had planned after the WSOP to just like go disappear in Europe for a little while.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he did
He
in
still
between.
did, he
but
said, I think a little bit, or that he like was going to cut his like Italy trip a little short and come back.
Well, do us a favor if after the show, you got his number because he's just going to be patched up. Tell him to come to the episode 1,000 with us. So we'll,
Lauren's listening. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
That's easy.
we'll get him on
That's easy.
episode 1,000 wearing the patch and stuff.
Very easy.
So.
Yeah.
Boys, what about you two since we've last chatted? You still feeling Lucas? Are you still thinking there's going to be some shenanigans?
I like Lucas to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some guys who have been doing work with Lucas, kind of on the side to get ready for this, and I don't want to blow up a spot in case it's a secret, but it's all people that I would trust and want in my corner as I'm preparing for something like this.
Yeah, he's in the gym hitting the pads.
Oh, there you go,
Well, actually, this just wasn't on the outline. I just don't know why I spaced it. It just came to me. But the shot clock situation. Let's talk about that real quick. Yeah. They came out and said there will not be a shot clock at the final table when there was for days 7 and 8. We've talked about it on the show before. Thoughts, Mike?
Horrific mishandling of a situation that's worth so much money to these people. If you're on day 7 and 8 and you think you're making it to the final table, and the final table is going to have shot clocks, it's a really bad situation to make people waste their shot clocks, waste their time banks, or have them dealing with time issues on 7 and 8, and then just be like, actually, nah, it didn't even matter. Sorry, guys. So it's like, it should have never been implemented in the first place. And I get that it's putting a bandage on the situation, but it's a rough spot. It's really rough. I think the decision to put them in the first place was just so bad.
And that was the mistake, was putting them in the first place. And I mean, we all understand kind of the thought process behind why they did it, and sort of, there was this one moment of I forget who it was, Lauren Klein, who tanked for 20 minutes, and it was affecting other tables and affecting other people and affecting the situation. But yeah, it was a good decision, I think, to roll it back. They clearly talked to all the players. I think if any player had a big, oh, no, let's not do this, like, keep shot clocks in.
Do you know this, or are you just speculating?
No, they said we discussed with all the players. Oh, did they? They discussed with all the tournament staff. I mean, unless they're lying, which I doubt they would. But no, I don't think they would lie about this. But yeah, if they discuss with all the players and everyone agrees that there shouldn't be shot clocks at the final table.
Yeah. Thoughts before?
I mean, I'm sympathetic to. I'm surprised. I was surprised that they took it off the final table, because I would have thought that's for ESPN purposes. Like, you kind of want the game to move a certain way.
True.
And also, they have. It's very interesting because to program it, because they don't have like unlimited time to be on ESPN, but they want to have it in completion.
Yeah.
So like, how do you actually fit that final table into a specific time block each day?
Yeah. God, I remember.
So it is. I was surprised to see them pull it off. Actually.
I remember the year Merson won. You're talking about, like, limited time on ESPN.
Oh, it was like 6
3-handed. They were playing for like 16 hours. I remember going to sleep, waking up for work the next day, and then they were still 3-handed. And I'm like, I can't believe
I remember
this
that.
Is still.
Do you think that that kind of stuff contributed to ESPN pulling out of poker for as long as it did?
I mean, maybe. It's a tough thing to ask people to do or stay engaged with if you're not, like, I think sometimes we talk about the different kind of viewership categories. There are people like us who are in poker, know what it's like to watch every hand and watch a stream and kind of be in it and understand that, like, yeah, there are situations where this 3-handed match is going to take forever. But then for someone casually watching it on ESPN at midnight or whatever, and they see it's a 6-minute hand and they're like, nothing's happened. Even if it's exciting, even if they're playing for $10 million, it gets to the point where you're like, all right, I got to flip this off. So makes a lot of sense.
Final table is unique, right? In the sense that you can't cut to other tables.
Exactly.
There's nothing else. So if the guy's taking 15, it's kind of like, well, you just...
And good luck filling, 15 hours of dead air. I don't even know who's the live streamers at that point, or the commentators, but that's a tough ask, so...
Yeah, I think the edited episodes are always going to be more palatable for the regular audience, and not like the poker pros, et cetera, but just like casual viewers on ESPN. You said you got into poker that way. A lot of people did. That's how I was first exposed to poker. I think poker would not have grown at all like this if it wasn't on ESPN. So I'd like to see it continue, and I'd like to see a way that makes it so that the average viewer can really digest what's going on without the 15-minute tank. So if that's edited episodes or whatnot, you got to do something about it.
But then putting a shot clock in just to accomplish that goal, I don't think makes sense.
Shot clocks.
Let me ask about the shot clock in this. From my point of view, I think removing it was probably the right thing, but agree that it was probably a mistake in the first place. Moving forward, next year's WSOP, should shot clocks just be clear from the get-go, from the start of the tournament? Should it be when the money hits? Should it be at a certain day so that people know, or should just not be shot clocks?
Chess clocks starting on day 3. I think chess clocks are just the best way. You have to have an overall amount of time. Like the problem with normal time banks is, and I've seen this over and over and over again, I'm playing and we're playing fast. People are folding in 3-4 seconds. We're 150 off the money. We go to break. We come back. Time banks come in. Every single person stares at that time until it's down to 1 second and then folds their cards. Yeah. So it just ends up slowing play in general and making everyone more aware of the bubble and more aware of the situation. So I think that the solution to that is just to have one main time bank, and whenever it comes to you, you just get time off that, whether it starts 10 seconds after or whatnot, and it's just a cumulative thing. That way you can really average out the amount of time.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to ever say or to suggest to make a decision that's going to help just for broadcast purposes. I think if there's one event that it makes, first of all, I agree with Mike. Chess clocks are the future, and they need to be the thing. And I everyone is thinking about it, and I hope that by the time we're having this conversation next year and you're back on, that chess clocks are more of a thing. But I think if there's one event that you got to give people as much time as possible, it's this one. So I would rather have no shot clocks at all or nothing than a bad version of it, or a shot clock like, that we have now, time banking. So
I just want to say one thing that I didn't really think about until you were just saying that. But one thing that's different from back in the day too is, let's say someone tanks 10 minutes, whatever. If you look at the data, the average attention span since then has dropped like something like not even like 1,800% or something crazy. Like the average attention span is like 6 seconds now.
Yeah,
so
imagine some 16-year-old Gen Zer trying to watch a 10-minute hand on ESPN.
Yeah,
they probably get through 18
in the background
18 reels at the same time. Yeah, you got to have the split screen of the video game.
The subway
Italian brain, Italian brain rot on the side. Yeah.
Oh God, what have we done?
Let's talk about something WSOP did. We'll say right. Most people seem to think it, but we can debate the merits of this. And that is the feedback they received about WSOP Online Circuit rings. Right? Mm-hmm. They had advertised that all circuit ring winners would win a $5K package to WSOP Paradise at the end of the year. And then it came based on somebody's tweet that they were told online poker rings don't count. Our boy Jeff Platt got in the mix of it.
Drake Kemper.
Was it? I didn't remember.
Drake Kemper.
Yep.
Drake.
And they did say in a recent tweet, we've listened to player feedback and are pleased to confirm that eligible winners of qualifying WSOP online circuit events in both the U.S. and international markets will continue to receive a $5,000 WSOP Paradise invitation package. So doing the right thing, but some people would say, well, they're doing the right thing for something they should have been doing in the first place. Ben, Mike, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Mike take most of this because he's got, he's.
And this is good for more people using Solana.
Yeah, for sure. More people coming to Paradise. I think clearly there was some sort of misunderstanding or miscommunication amongst these. I think the thing people don't realize, and we've talked about it, but if you're not like inside baseball and poker, you don't know, is that WSP.com is still owned by Caesars. It's a different brand. No one from GG or the World Series of Poker is really like working with that brand.
Todd Wottelis did a great thread on explaining all that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to understand that, like, there was clearly some miscommunication, or that they had thought that they weren't going to do this and then forgot to make that asterisk. But as we've seen with a couple things this summer, which is good and trending in the right direction, the longer we've gone through this World Series, the more they've been willing to be adaptable, make things right if they make mistakes. So, again, mistake in the first place that they didn't offer this, and we had to Mike had to get on Twitter and do his thing to make it happen, but at least they made the change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy they made the change, but I do think it's the bare minimum. I think WSP has done much, much, much better this year, like way better, and I'm glad that they addressed this so quickly, but I think they had no choice. I mean, it's false advertising otherwise. They would have been under legal. I mean, it would have been a legal issue, right? Like, how can they say that?
People would have filed suit. Yeah,
for sure.
You were hopeful. I seen your tweet that you thought that they would take this course of action and rectify it, which I was surprised because you're not always the most optimistic person.
I want to curry as much good favor with WSP as I can. I like to have a good relationship with them. And I think that we're working towards a much better poker ecosystem lately with WSP caring more often. And I'm glad they addressed, because this is something where in the past they might have waited 2-3 months and then said, like, actually we're going to honor that, et cetera. So doing it this early makes everyone have time to make plans, make time to take advantage of it. Yeah. And it's great that they're actually doing that. Hopefully we can get more communication between the players and WSOP talking on Twitter and such.
Yeah.
That'd be cool for the future.
I also just feel bad for Platt. Every single thing that happens
I know,
is his
he's
fault.
getting paid a bag.
Yeah, I'm sure. But still, it's like, everyone's like, wait, what's happening to WSP.com? Go yell at Jeff Platt.
It's usually me.
It's mostly just Mike yelling at Jeff.
No, I'm the one getting, how many people message me about this? They're like, get this fixed.
So they're messaging you. Imagine how many people.
Nobody pays me. I don't get any money.
Let's
Cry
wrap
with your
this up
bracelet,
by
wipe
looking
your
ahead to
tears.
WSOP Paradise a little bit more and give an opportunity to counterbalance this a little bit because you work with WSOP intimately. You mentioned Greg and Ty and people that I know for many, many years. But what's it been like to have WSOP as, kind of a collaboration partner through this whole experience and looking ahead to Paradise?
Honestly, the team is just killer. Like, I mean, I understand that there's some things that come up, but like the speed at which they are able to actually fix the things that people care about, even with the shot clock situation, like they're literally in the tweets, reading what's going on, how people are feeling, and trying to do their best every moment. Anytime we have like the most minor of like complaints, like the next day, Greg's texting me, he's like, "Hey, like check this out, we fixed it." They're just killers, like from end to end. We love working with them.
Yeah. And I think, as much as we talk about all this stuff with the WSOP, and I say this over and over, the reason we care so much and the reason we dig into the controversies is because we love the WSOP so much and want it to be the best product out there. So, that's part of why we have to talk about this, why we have to talk about, the thoughts of the players, et cetera. But it's a good team.
If there are people listening, watching that want to learn more about yourself, about Solana, what's the best way for them to do that? Is there social medias you want to plug, websites? What's the best way for them to research? And of course, I'll link to it in the show notes.
You can follow me on Twitter. I probably tweet the most about poker stuff. It's just my first name at VIBHU on X.
Nice.
And then you can follow at Solana as well. Actually, this year we streamed. I don't know if you guys know this. We streamed all of the WSOP up to the ESPN stuff on the Solana Twitter account.
I did see that.
That's cool.
Yeah. And what's remarkable is we were pulling the same audience numbers as WSOP's YouTube was.
Not surprising.
Well, this is like we came in wanting to grow the game. Not just, like this is a big investment for us, and we want crypto people to find out about poker.
Yeah, very important.
And like definitely a lot of new fans showed up, and
that's awesome.
One of the stats I wanted to share was, so I mentioned that like almost 6% of all the total buy-ins were Solana, but only 3% of the actual transactions. So the average buy-in from a crypto person is 2 times that of someone buying in with cash.
Interesting.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, for sure.
I think if we succeed, I think this will go from 6 to 12 to 20 to 50 to 100% over like a decade.
Yeah.
And also 50% of those players probably will come from the crypto side. Like that's where they'll find out about it.
If you can get 50% players on the crypto side, I'll get a Solana tattoo on my forehead right now.
I don't think that's a stretch. We have Solana has almost 150 million holders around the world.
He says that in a hopeful way, not a critical way.
I want it.
2 to 3 million daily active wallets. And these are like very aligned with the they just don't know about poker yet.
Yeah.
I think poker has gotten a little bit older.
Yeah. For sure.
100%.
And
but there's a lot of kids that are trading, and using perps and crypto stuff that I think would love the game if only someone showed it to them.
Yeah, we are our friend of the podcast, Jeremy Dan. He's a big guy in the crypto space. He's always talking about, more guys got to come over and play poker. I love it so much. It's like the perfect crossover as far as, two things that have so many shared interests.
Yeah. One of the guys playing on the 4th is his name's Ansem. He's got like over 1 million followers on X. Every tweet of his has like thousands of likes. These are like and the people that follow him are I think probably not mostly like looking at poker and stuff like this. Even those little things are gonna bring a lot of attention to the game.
I think some people think what is the WSOP doing for you guys? It's looking at the other ways even just as much, if not more value. What can Solana do for poker? Because you got 4 million followers on your Twitter, the Solana Twitter account. So I can see why streaming the WSOP final tables there.
Absolutely.
What's I see it here? Breakpoint, November 15th through the 17th.
Yeah. This is our big community event. We'll have 10,000 people in London at Olympia, and we are going to run a poker tournament there. We're actually shipping the final table from the to London.
Oh, nice.
So people will be able to play on it and take pictures with it and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really sick.
So. Yeah, this is an event that's about the future of digital finance and AI and equities and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, if you're looking to, sponsor some of the biggest and best things, the biggest and best poker podcast, and is still out there, but a good chance for me to plug Think Jerky, a sponsor of ours. It's very good. You're welcome to all of this, and I've got a bunch for episode 1000. Like my trunk is full of mini boxes. Speaking of which,
wow,
we're going to
only
put
100 calories. Wow,
you're good.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
As Ben likes to say about the beef jerky.
I say if you eat Jack Links,
This is only 80 calories, by the way.
Oh my god, incredible.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for episode 999 of the Poker News Podcast. Vibhu, thank you for taking the time to chat Solana with us, to chat World Series of Poker. We'll see you over at the final table and see how this thing plays out.
Come back next year.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Plan, brother.
Appreciate it.
Do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us the 5-star review, and remember, on Monday, we will be debuting episode 1000, which we're filming at PokerGo Studio in front of a live audience. It's going to be a big industry event. Very excited about it. Mike, Ben, it's been a fun journey. It's going to continue, but this is a good milestone to celebrate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I am very grateful you guys brought me on. And it's been a really kind of interesting other side of my life in poker. Chad and I worked together at PokerNews in 2011 when I was a junior in college. And if you told me 15 years later we'd be doing a podcast together, I would not have believed you. But it's been amazing. And so I'm really excited for 1000. We're going to have a lot of our friends there, and we're going to have good pie pizza. So you better show up.
Yeah, pretty sick, honestly. I would have never expected this in a million years. My life has turned the craziest possible. I thought when I moved here that I don't know what I was going to do with my life, but now I'm on a poker podcast. I play poker for a living. This is just insane. Wild stuff here, guys. Wild stuff. And
I'm only going to be playing more poker because it's going to be easy to buy them with Solana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
No fees. We're in there.
I'm in there.
We will be back with episode 1000. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.